I hope you guys earned an R rating.
Okay.
This is definitely a darker, more violent, more vicious Marvel character than I think anyone's ever seen before.
This is definitely a darker, more violent.
Oh my God, what the fuck?
More vicious Marvel character than I think anyone's ever seen before.
Let's meet in the middle and say no, it isn't.
I hope you guys earned an R rating.
Boy, if you don't get...
YouTubers, gamers, and moviegoers, what's going on, guys? I'm the Messiah, this is Messiah Entertainment, and today we are reviewing Venom. Guys, this is the latest attempt by Sony Pictures to bring about a series of movies that follows Spider-Man's villains. This is the second time that they've tried to bring the character to the big screen. This time in the role is Tom Hardy playing Eddie Brock, a journalist down on his luck. He's in the middle of investigating the Life Foundation when he comes in contact with one of their human test subjects. The Venom symbiote attaches onto him, and thus the adventure begins. Now, let me start off with the good things about this movie. One thing that I did like at many times was the look of Venom. This Venom is big and bulky and hulking, sort of like he is in some of the comics and the video games. He's a big figure, and that's what made him so menacing to, Spider-Man, and that's what made him so menacing in the comic books. He's a big guy, and I like that. Back in the 2007 Sam Raimi's one, it just kind of looked like a black version of the Spider-Man, which kind of worked for that movie, but for this one, it's a lot more comic book accurate, and thus, I really did like how they went with that. The big issue of this movie not being rated R. I mean, I don't understand this decision, especially after the success of movies like Logan and yours truly, but I guess they wanted to get the PG-13, the teenage audience in there. If that's the reason, I guess I sort of understand it, but I can't help but feel that the action in this movie is sometimes hampered. Like maybe there's like a more hardcore edit somewhere out there, because in this movie there's scenes where the guy's supposed to be biting off people's heads. It just kind of cuts, and some of the action, it just seems a little choppy in some places, just so that we don't have to see the real brutality of what Venom's doing, which is kind of the reason I was kind of looking forward to this. When they were first filming and first talking about this movie, they were talking all out the, oh yeah, of course this is gonna be rated R. This is Venom. How can this not be rated R? And then now we get closer to the release, and then more and more we just find out, oh, it's actually PG-13, but it's still gonna be kind of violent. I don't know, it just kind of felt kind of basic. This didn't feel, it felt like it needed that extra rating to really just do the character justice. At least the way that they're trying to go. Don't get me wrong, if he was in like a Spider-Man movie or something, a character that of course is getting a PG-13 rating, it might not have been quite a big problem. However, the whole point of this is to show how dark Venom is, and there's parts where he's actually biting off people's heads. Also, some of the action towards the end where the two Venoms are fighting, it's a bit hard to tell what's going on. There's a lot of shaking and a lot of just punching, and the camera's moving all over the place. It's a little hard to really get a grasp of some of the scenes and some of what's happening. So, the action was kind of so-so. Some cool moments, but some kind of moments too. On a story, character development level, I think they spent so much time trying to build up Eddie Brock before he becomes a washed-up journalist that we don't have as much time when it's time to make, Eddie Brock and Venom friends later in the film. It kind of seems like we make some logical jumps. If Venom's here with the rest of the symbiotes to take over the planet, why does he all of a sudden like Eddie? I wish we could have built that relationship up a bit more, because by the end of the film, they kind of got this bros sort of thing going on where they're, kind of cracking jokes, knocking on each other a little bit. But to me, it just didn't feel like we had seen enough of them. I would have liked to have known a little bit more about Venom. They give a little bit of a tidbit later in the film that he's a bit of a loser on his own planet, but I wanted to see a bit more of that. Also, the villain in this movie is so completely weak. This is every eccentric billionaire that thinks he's doing the right thing, but is actually a douchebag and is being completely evil, and slowly the thing that he's obsessed with starts to warp and twist his mind. There's so many different examples that you could pull from different movies and video games and comic books that do the same exact thing. The character doesn't really have any backstory to him. Overall, guys, as a fan of the character Venom, I gotta say this is a bit of a disappointing film. It didn't seem like they did it right. It didn't feel like they did it justice. Crazy enough, though, it seems like this movie is actually doing pretty well, and it seems like they probably will be getting a sequel. So we will see Woody Harrelson as Carnage. I thought that was such a weird casting choice as well. Guys, I'm unfortunately very disappointed by this movie. I was kind of expecting something like this, but that's just my opinion. I'm sure you guys got your own. Let me know in the comment section down below. What did you guys think of Venom? Did you love it? Did you hate it? As always, guys can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe. Guys, that's it for today. I'm the Messiah. This is Messiah Entertainment. I will see you guys next time. Peace.